You're live!
Hi, welcome!
Hello.
We figured it out.
How you doing? How are you doing is what I want to know. All of you.
We're fine.
I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it away and say hi.
So we're doing our best today.
As is, I'm sure, everyone else.
Yeah. I took 4 hours this morning to try and regulate my nervous system because I was having a hard time. And now I'm here.
We're
so
here.
Glad I'm here.
We're live at Ritual Space, and I'm Heather. And who are you? And who are you? We're really good at introductions. We get better and better every week.
Welcome back. My name is Jill. I'm a manifesting generator. And
Right. And what's your big three?
I'm a Taurus sun.
You're about to say I'm a Libra.
I just lied to you. I'm a Taurus sun, moon, and Cancer rising.
Oh, man.
And who are you?
I always forget about that.
I'm a
Cancer
witch.
rising.
I'm a witch.
We have a wonderful witch with us today. Like, seriously, so excited to
So
have this
excited.
conversation. But
So
who are you and what's your big three?
Oh, who am I? My human name is Alyssa. Astrologically speaking, I am a Taurus sun and rising with a Libra moon, and I am a projector of the mind.
The mental projector,
The
which is
mental
different,
projector.
which I just learned before this
Because-
started.
Yep, I am defined at the crown and the third eye and the throat, all the way through, just connected to spirit.
You are connected to the divine.
Just walking around fully divine.
Yes.
And thank God for you, because I am not defined.
Very claircognizant, I will say. Like, that is definitely what I've lived with my whole life, is this ability to know without really knowing anything at all. That's like the best way I can explain.
Oh, how does that feel for you?
Feeling wise, it's like I trust myself, but then most times it's like, no, you're wrong, because like you're raised to think that you're crazy because you know things. But now it's like, oh, people will turn to me all the time
Okay.
for
So it's
my knowing.
like a hard path, but then when you figure it out, if it's like, this feels right.
Yeah.
Is that how you, that's what I'm getting?
Yeah, it definitely is like it's a constant devotion to like trusting yourself and your intuition, and trusting that is like what you're literally receiving is true.
Right.
Yeah.
Self-validation.
Mm-hmm.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you trusted yourself enough to be here
Yeah, me too.
and trusted us to have you on.
First podcast ever.
Ayo.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Isn't
exciting.
it weird? I know.
What an honor, honestly, then.
I'm very surprised myself, but I'm excited.
gotta
And
start
definitely, I was feeling very privileged, honestly, like to be here. Like the privilege
Mm.
came,
It's shared.
yeah, but like just to have
I
the
also
privilege
feel
to
that.
speak, like express your truth is like a huge privilege.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
And a responsibility
Uh-huh.
and an honor and very complex. And I'm sure we'll get all into that witch wound today.
Oh, yeah.
But
Which
before
wound?
we do,
Which is which?
right,
Who are you?
I'm Heather and I'm a Libra sun. No, Leo sun.
Everybody wants to be a Libra sun.
I'm a Libra rising. And that's one reason I want people to like me. I'm a Leo sun. That's another reason I want people to like me. I'm a Pisces moon, and that's another reason I want
Oh
people.
my
So three
God.
different ways where we want to be liked.
You're in luck. I like you quite a bit.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
We're
And what is happening at Ritual Space?
I don't know.
Not in like a what is happening in a day like a scary way, in like an exciting way.
That's more about how I feel about myself. But
Okay, the energy is wild right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that.
let's just talk about it.
Right.
The what did we call it? The feminine forecast.
The current feminine forecast. Right? I don't know. I walked into this space today and everyone that was in here, including these lovely people, were like, yeah, same. Like, what is happening? I'm
Put a
moving
1 in the
through.
chat if the energy is crazy right now
You just
as
like,
you're watching this.
I just can't seem to get organized. I can't seem to find ease and focus because there's just a lot of feeling.
You're
happening.
feeling the grit before you push through in your power.
Yeah, for sure. I am breaking through mental cages.
Which is ironic considering we're here talking about like harmonizing
uh-huh.
the things.
Yeah. Speaking of
harmonizing.
yes. Yes. There are so
Sorry.
many I think it's really important to like have spaces to like come out of my shell, of my own processing, and to like be in space with other women
Yeah.
to process and to have that powerful mirror back to me in my experience.
Yeah.
It's so helpful to like get out of my way, get out of my
Mhm.
ish, move through my mental blocks. And we have a lot of spaces coming up for
And
that.
that divine feminine energy is so incredibly healing.
Yes.
So what do we got coming up?
Starting tomorrow, there is the Bloom School. It's coming here, starting at 6:30. It's a 4-week gardening class series. So Heather Gonzalez, she's a master gardener. She's going to be holding space for us to trade clippings and learn how to grow food, herbs, flowers seasonally.
What time is that at?
6:30.
Very
6:30 to 8 starts tomorrow, and it goes through October 16th. And we also have this like really amazing sound weaving event happening here on Saturday, hosted by this lovely creature right here.
Creature feature.
TM. We're gonna use that. We're gonna use that moving forward. But that's gonna be a powerful event, and we're gonna talk a lot about it today. We could talk about it right now, I guess.
Right. Did we go through the list of all the cool stuff? We got Bloom School. We got Sonic Bloom. Is that the one you're doing?
Yeah, how ironic
Sonic
that you have
Bloom.
2 events that have the word bloom in it right now in between, like in literally the middle of eclipse season, where we're like, it's like we're trying so hard to bloom right now, and it's just
going to happen.
Yeah, after October 6th.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a little bit
of a shadow.
Is
Is there another eclipse?
No, it already happened.
Yeah, it already happened.
It happened last weekend on the solar
Sunday.
We went, but we're still, in that shadow phase.
In the shadow, for a couple weeks. Yeah.
But it's crazy because, we were just talking about like not feeling regulated. And here you have this opportunity with tomorrow's event, working with plants and like that nurturing aspect of like learning how to grow something where it's like that can be taken into account into like yourself.
I think the prescription for right now is like a lot of self-care, because the if you're tuned to the energy and you're focusing on your rising, then you're gonna get knocked around a little, and we have to be taking care of ourselves for sure right now.
Of course,
big time. Coming back into the body is going to be really huge. Breath, yeah. So playing in the dirt will be really nice, and communing with fellow women in this space, but also on Saturday with sound healing.
Yes.
The sound bath.
That for sure, I think, is one of those things that is still very underestimated right now. I'm like using it as such a tool to help regulate when you're feeling dysregulated. And I feel like recently I've become such a preacher of encouraging people to access sound, whether it be through a group session, private session, purchasing your own, whatever you have like accessibility to, because it truly has been such a remarkable modality for myself and my healing and my development into healing my feminine wounds. Saturday is going to be really, really special for those who feel called and those who are going to end up being there, because it's just a different type of, it's just very deeply intentional. Like you can show up to a sound bath and it'd be beautiful, you receive, you're with a group of people, but like there's an integrative aspect to this. And it's in it, like I didn't realize how like everything is like come to fruition today of what I'm starting to reflect on. It's like, how ironic is it that us women today were feeling the way that we're feeling. And then we decided on this date, 3 weeks ago, I think. And for us to be feeling this way, especially, it was 4 of us that were kind of expressing the same thing. And it's like, if us 4 are feeling this way, I can't imagine how many other women are feeling this way, of like this dysregulation, these anxieties, where it's like, this Saturday is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of, to be able to come back into the body through like sisterhood and sound, which The timing of it just blows my mind because like
it's just perfect. As always, as usual.
Yeah. It's a great synchronicity.
It
for
is.
sure.
Yeah. I love sound baths, especially ones that you facilitate because you really hold such integrity in space. Just holding the literal vibration in a space for us to all show up and receive. And I know you're going to lead us to a really intentional I don't know if you call it a ceremony or
I would say more for this because like speaking of integrity, I'm definitely very impeccable with my word on how I choose to share like what it is that I'm doing, and I would call this more of a gathering.
A gathering, yeah.
You know, we're definitely all going to be participating in, you know, putting together an altar. And what came to me today was like creating a spiral, right? Because like so all of this is a spiral. Whether you feel like you're spiraling down right now, or if you feel like you're starting to spiral up, like definitely want to make like a really beautiful spiral of flowers and allowing everybody to participate in that in the beginning, and you know, just honoring ourselves in that moment, and yeah, just going from there with some, you know, like more open conversation. Definitely, if people, you know, I'm gonna bring journals and stuff for people to write in and take home with them and be able to continue the integration process because I'm really big on that. Because we can do all the work in a place where we're receiving, but then we leave there and we're not, maybe we just like it ends at the door. It ends at the place that you just went and received, like where it should be embodied afterwards in everyday life. And then of course sound, definitely speaking, trying to get, I feel like, more women to understand and connect with their feminine centers, and just get the idea of like when you're feeling those dysregulated feelings, it's like understanding and being able to pause where it's coming from. Like, is this coming from my womb? Is this coming from my heart? Is this coming from my mind? Because the feminine centers consist of those three spaces. So, and like we carry intuition so innately in all three of those centers that, you know, where we're not experiencing a constant flow of energy, there's a chance that like something is being, I don't like to say blocked in these energy centers because I don't really believe anybody is ever fully blocked, but it's just like dysregulated, it's disharmonized. So like we're made of so much water and cells and plasma that like those things just need to be regulated. Like when you look at fascia, right? Fascia is, when fascia isn't really happy, it's kind of like in this little knot, and then when fascia is in its proper home, it's nice and smooth. And like the same thing I feel is what I visualize with our energy centers, is like it's just like these little knots, and like we kind of have to just relax them and like iron them out.
Yeah. How can energy flow if it's stagnant or
it's flowing, but it's like these little, you know?
Yeah. So I think a good way to approach it, because it sounds like the event is perfect for what's happening right now in the collective. You're touching on the feminine energy centers that are kind of harnessing this energy, but let's zone in on exactly what's happening in the collective right now. If you are, like I said, tuned to energy, and especially I think men are also feeling this in their own way, or the masculine energies are feeling this in a way, and I think feminine energies are feeling this in a certain way. So we've kind of been showing examples of what this is like with a little bit of chaos and a little bit of disorientation. But why don't we hone in first of all on what do we see happening in the energy right now? How would you summarize your experience?
I am working on being a compassionate observer of my experience, but I've had a hard time over the past couple days specifically moving past frustration, feeling stuck, but also like knowing what I have to do, but there is clearly like this resistance to doing it. And it's really this resistance for me of showing up for myself and being perceived and showing up in the work that I do. And I spent quite a bit of time today, but also I've started my like a 30-day self-hypnosis challenge just for myself to like really sort through this stuff and like observe it and feel good in my body and like make empowered choices, even if they're small, daily, to just move toward my goals, because I'm personally perceiving just big blocks of receiving. But I want to,
right?
Like I'm on the edge,
yeah,
right? And it's like it's just like this final push, and it's just like I'm giving birth in a sense. But man, those labor pains, I'm fucking like pissed that I can't get out of my own way.
The frustration.
Yeah, but I'm trying to breathe through it. I'm trying to like ease that for myself, because if I don't, then I just can't.
I sense in what you're saying a little bit of self-criticism, but it
Definitely.
almost okay. So I picked up on that.
Yes, she's.
But I think what that is because I've been feeling too. It's almost like there is this great compulsion to rise and take responsibility and be the leader. And to rise, for the feminine to rise up in that leadership role. And in order to do that, that hasn't been the case for thousands of years, where if the women have had some type of a guidance, it was portrayed as a little bit more behind the scenes. It was portrayed as maybe even manipulative or a shadow in the shadows, like gossip and the secrecy. And I think what's happening is the feminine energies are ready to become front and center and take their place. The people who are in their power and awakening and on the forefront of this ascension are people who are really strongly, more than ever, feeling this call to move into their wise woman phase and stage. And so I think when we feel disconnected from that, it's going to cause like quite the discomfort. And I think that is like partially critical, I guess, in a way, but also partially like, you know what, when you're the leader, it's hard. You kind of have to put yourself, you focus on yourself, but you're also focused on the people that you're serving. And you have to kind of ask yourself, like, I'm the one in charge now. And I think that question is being asked of a lot of feminine who are in their power of what does it look like to be in charge under these circumstances? Because nobody's going to give that to you. That is truth that you decide to own.
Yeah.
And I have been feeling the same thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm having this like crash out. It's very obvious. I'm having this emotion. It's not quite connected to any real problem necessarily. I mean, we can think of problems, but they're not super clear. And really what's happening is there's a shift to where we're just saying, oh, I'm ready to own my power. I'm ready to be the mother. I'm ready to embody the energy of the mother so we can take care of what we need to take care of.
Yeah.
And that is a huge responsibility. And we are ready for that responsibility.
I think responsibility is a huge word. A huge word. There's like a weight to it.
Sure.
That feels like
important.
It's important. It's heavy. It's really heavy. And I think that brings up fear of like failing. I don't know if it's a fear of failure or what it is, but it almost, what I'm confronting is this feeling of, almost feels like apathy, like disconnecting from my body so that I don't feel the pressure of this.
The confirmation of you disconnecting from your body.
Hello.
There was thunder if you didn't hear. I don't know.
And so there's like this separation of like, it's going to be easier if I just like, I don't want to feel that. So I'm just going to like not do it.
An old pattern.
But then the discomfort in that is like worse.
Not going to fly anymore.
Yeah. Oh, it's worse.
Yeah.
It's like, there's this like anger then that comes up. It's like, how dare you play small?
Oh, that is the energy right now. How dare you play small?
Like at a time like this.
At a time like this?
100%.
How dare you?
Oh, that's a good way to put it. That's it.
Yeah, it's like the fear, like you said earlier, the fear of being perceived.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
the witch wound is
I don't know
front and center.
What's more dangerous? Denying myself and ourselves our power and showing up in that, or deciding not to show up?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what's more.
Right.
Well, I do know.
It's not. It's not really. Yeah. It's not really feeling possible to be
You can't sit back anymore. You can't coast.
Yeah.
You can't take the easy road. Not to say that the road ahead is, there will be ease and there will be flow, but also like the challenge is moving through whatever I perceive about myself that's old, or my conditioning of like, well, it's okay, I don't have to do that, or someone else will do it, or like, oh, I don't want to get in the way of anything, or I don't know.
I was reminded that fear is a lie telling you that you're smaller than what's in front of you. And the truth is that you're not. If it's in front of you, like, then you're big enough to do it.
There's nothing to fear except fear itself.
The emotional intensity is what we're withdrawing from. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure. But like, if you like, I mean, I can go down a whole rabbit hole about fear, but like, like fear, when we're afraid of an aspect of ourselves, or we have these self-limiting beliefs that is deeply rooted in fear, right? Everything becomes rooted in fear, and like literally death in and of itself. And so where it's like, it's just your mind and your ego at war with each other. And when you can, this is where like the energy centers definitely come into play, and like your intuition, right? It's like so much of that overpowering, because if you work the energy from the way up, right, from the womb, the heart to the mind, and the feminine centers, whereas like if you're just coming from a place of the ego, you're skipping your womb. Right, you're skipping the center of your innate intuition, of like this portal energy that you carry of so much wisdom from generations of women before you that you innately are able to connect to. Right, and so when we skip that and we just go right to the ego, it's just going to pass right over to the heart and be so conflicting with your mind. Whereas like when we can get back into the womb and send it to the heart, then we're not going to have these like this self-sabotage or this fear of being perceived, because you're just naturally able to trust and be grounded in who you are as a woman, and who you are as whatever you are, if that's a witch, a priestess, however you identify.
So how would you say, just to like quantify with these energies at play, how are these feminine energy centers, like how should we be what's the process for us to move this energy of this time in a way that's going to be helpful for us? Does that make sense? Like, can you give us a process, or like a tangible way, like a step-by-step, even if possible? I don't know if it's that.
It's so funny because when it comes to quantifying things, I'm like,
you're like, huh? Okay, we'll start with the energy
like
centers.
When it comes to quantifying things, I'm like, sometimes I'm not that I'm against quantifying, but quantifying separates itself from the natural, from like the nature in which that we exist, right? So
it's not so orderly all the time.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And so when it comes to that, it's to be able to put this in more of a digestible way for people, is like you're for me, it's like literally touching these spaces, right? Like your hands are vibrating all the time. Like we receive so much with our hands. Like this has the, like, even if you're just to rub your hands, generate heat and feel the energy between them, right? Like you have this ability to fully connect and understand to yourself. So it's like you bringing just your hands alone to these spaces. Like I told you guys I did in the shower today, and like I was reminding myself that like I'm safe, I am loved, I am clear. And
what was that? So what's that?
So I today, like when I was kind of just before I came here, because of how dysregulated I've been feeling, and when it comes to these feminine centers, right? Like a lot of women, if not, I would say a full percentage of women experiencing sexual trauma in their lifetime, right? So when you can understand that and acknowledge that about yourself, that you have probably been a victim of some sort of trauma pertaining to your womb. You may not even realize it right away, right? Like you may realize it 10 years after you graduated high school, that you're like, wait, this happened to me at a party, and like this actually is why I'm feeling this way now in my relationships. Like it could be, that's just like a very small example.
Sure.
And then when it comes to the heart, identifying that like that the heart is a place of trust. And when I sometimes identify myself as a heart seer with people, like I can literally see people's hearts and how much they don't trust the world and people around them, or the spaces that they're in. especially in a sound bath. Like the heart is usually always one to trigger people's deeply stored emotions, and they start like crying during a sound bath. And it's always when I'm playing the heart, and I'm like, here we go. And then, I'll take my time away from it, and then I'll go back to it, and the person immediately starts crying again. Right. And so when it comes to the heart, it's like, this is a place of trust. And if you can identify where your trust was broken, right, in your life, in your relationships, in your family, the trust you made broken with yourself, like not trusting yourself, right? Identifying those feelings that you have in that center. And then same thing with the mind. Like your mind is ultimately what's making your decisions, which is like, this is like your mind is the full expression of the intuition of the womb and the heart combined, because that, like, the brain is what ultimately is leading you to be able to articulate and speak. And so I think it just comes down to identifying and being fucking honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Being so radically honest with yourself that you experience this and that it's okay. And to be able to, like, I have chills like running through my whole body as I say this, and being able to forgive yourself for what you experienced. Even though in that moment, you may not just like give yourself a quick fix and you're healed, but it's like, it's the identifying with what has happened to you, accepting it, forgiving yourself for it, and continually showing up in that essence every single day with whatever you experienced, while also obviously like finding the tools or the people like you with hypnosis, or speaking to a therapist, or seeing a sound practitioner regularly. Like, how are you able to really release and harmonize yourself back to a place where they flow better for you to one, be more empowered and sovereign as a woman.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like one of the easiest ways to get people to understand. I hope that answered your question.
Well, let me see let me pick out a few things from that, and you tell me if I'm in the mark. So it sounds like physical touch in the area of the womb, the heart, and the third eye, would you say?
Yeah. Mind.
So the mind. And then kind of going through a process of maybe that like self-talk, that nurturing self-talk, where you be radically honest with yourself and also deeply compassionate, like your own best friend, whether it's journaling or processing in whatever way makes sense to you, allowing, and that kind of allows the harmonizing to start to happen.
Yeah, it's like
Do I have that right?
It's like you're having a deep, honest conversation with your soul. Honestly, mirror work. Mirror work has been something to also really help me, because, there's, especially when it comes to, I struggled with body dysmorphia for years as a bodybuilder. I've been an athlete my whole life, and after bodybuilding, I struggled tremendously for years, and I still sometimes do, especially like when we get our periods, whatever. We bleed, we go through like the whole phases, and you're like, what the hell? Like, why do I look like this? Your hormones are telling you all these lies, whatever. But like mirror work for me in regards to like a self-worship practice, I think is really what
I'm
helps.
So glad
that.
You said that.
Yeah, like the self-worship, it sounds crazy when you hear that for the first time. Like, what do you mean self-worship? Like, that's so egotistical. But really, it's like a level of devotion that you have to yourself, and loving yourself through the suffering that you've experienced in this lifetime.
Oh, it's not an ego thing.
No, but it sounds like it is in word form.
When people
let's
don't
reframe
understand.
That. Let's reframe that, because why wouldn't you worship yourself?
Well, you can't really hold the honor of others until you do that for yourself first anyways.
Yeah.
100%.
So, and it's like, it's just really like having a conversation with your soul, with your spirit, and how different would your life look if you spoke to yourself differently, if you spoke to these spaces differently, if you loved these spaces differently, if you loved the parts of yourself that you've hated for years. Like for me, my legs, thankfully I have a man in my life now who adores my lower body more than I ever have in my life. So I've been able to embody that love for myself even more, because
that's
it's just like, I couldn't get there myself.
Okay.
Like I could, there was moments where I'd be confident, but like to wear shorts or something. But it's like, it's moments where I look at myself in the mirror now and I'm like, you could probably break somebody's neck with them legs. Like, like,
she got
even though I have to like say that to myself sometimes and be a little,
what I heard
a little grungy
on the internet today, and we'll have to, I don't know, fact check me. But I heard that there's
what's the internet
statistics that say that the stronger your legs are,
the longer you live,
live, because your
actually
brain
can explain why.
Okay, yeah, your brain will just trust that.
We got a fact checker right here.
I do, yeah,
Oh.
as a personal trainer for the last 12 years.
And a mental projector.
I mean, here we go.
So the reason why, and this is why another reason why women tend to live longer, because we do carry most of our weight and our strength in our lower body because we bear children. And so when it comes to women, like, and just people in general, the stronger your legs are, you're actually increasing your bone density. And the largest bone in your body is your femurs, which is surrounded by the quads and the hamstrings. And so when you increase your bone density through lean muscle mass in the lower body, your bone density stays great up until 70s and 80s. Another reason why is because when you have lean muscle tissue, like, everybody's a musculoskeletal system, right? Like, we're getting a little bit off right now, but you're basically, when you get older, the less you exercise, the more your muscles atrophy, and you need to create hypertrophy when you exercise in order to build strong lean muscle tissue. And so when you lose your balance and stuff as you get older, usually it's happening in the legs because of atrophy. You stop socializing, you stop going out, you stop walking around, you start to help yourself up when you get from a chair, and you just continue that atrophy process. And then unfortunately you fall, and that's the leading cause of death in people who are 80 plus.
So this question is coming up, and it does feel very human and very physical, but I think it's important to go there. So, like, what would you say is, like, the amount of, I guess, what you refer to as hypertrophy? I guess that's working out your muscles and your leg muscles.
Yeah, you're creating hypertrophy is like enough stress in the muscle in order to create in order for the muscle to then repair itself and grow.
And what would you recommend is, like, a good self-care, I don't know if minimum is the right word, but a base level of?
So right now, any form of movement, like, it's, if you're looking at creating hypertrophy and, like, you want to build mass that you want to see, right? Then it's like, I always tell people 2 reps in the tank. So it's like, if you're exercising and you're working on the gym and you're working out any muscle group and you're looking to actually progressively, get better or stronger or see substantial changes, then 2 reps in the tank means that, like, you're getting to a point that 2 reps is all you have left. You shouldn't be doing an exercise where it's like, oh, you could have done 5 or 10 more. So imagine doing a push-up, right? You do however many push-ups you can do, and you can't do more than 5, say. It's like you're maxing out at 5 reps, right? So maxing out is like you can't do any more than a certain number. So you technically are working at, like, 95% when you have 2 reps left in the tank, but you're doing that for sets.
That's interesting that you're saying it as, like, don't do 10 push-ups. Do as many as you can do when you only have 2 more left and you fail at, like, go
because
to failure.
You still have 2 or 3 more sets after that first set. So it's like you're basing that off of the first set. So say it's like I'm doing bicep curls with 15 pounds, right? And I'm doing my first set of 12, and I get to 12, and I could have done 2 more, but I'm not going to, because I have to rest for 30 seconds and do this 3 more times because I'm choosing to do 4 sets of 15.
Got it.
And that's like, and then that's progressive. Like, and then when you start to increase your weight, right, then you'll start to see how, like, you'll do those 10 reps with 15, but you could have done like 5 or 8 more in the first set. And so it's like you're seeing yourself get stronger, or it's like you increase the weight towards the end of a set. And this is why, like, with Pilates is really great, especially mat Pilates, because you're using so much of your body weight. But the misconception right now with Pilates is that people are expecting a physique based off of their instructor who actually still continues to work out in the gym and not just do Pilates. And so, like, you're seeing a lot of that right now with really successful Pilates instructors who look amazing, and people think that's the only thing they do. And it's like, they didn't get that just through Pilates. Like, they got that through strength training, through resistance training, through creating hypertrophy. Not saying you can't like achieve hypertrophy in something like Pilates. It's just like, you definitely have to work really, really hard. But your body weight is something I always recommend people to start with, because your body weight is heavier than any dumbbell or anything you'll lift.
Well, and I wonder, how does that, like, bringing it to that physical place, I think was an important part of the conversation, because how does that help us to harmonize with these energy centers?
So it's funny you say that, because I had worked the other night on Tuesday night, and I literally, before I left, I work Sugar Shack sessions at the house whenever they have them. And so I just had so much anxiety, and I was like, what is going on? Like, why am I so anxious? Like, I've gone through, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety. I was diagnosed with PTSD. Like, I've been through that in therapy and I've worked through that. And I'm not typically I'm not really that anxious of a person anymore. Unless I have a deadline that I'm not really working on.
Okay.
But so I literally could not shake this feeling. And I also stopped smoking the ganja recently. And that's been bringing up a lot for me because it's like this sobriety that I haven't really experienced. And I wasn't somebody who would like smoke every day. It'd be like at night, go to bed, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, it still like creates this cloud, right? And so I had this anxiety and I started exercising. I started doing curtsy squats and like split squats on my coffee table and then like jump squats. And I did 2 rounds of it. And, I just got blood pumping in my body. I was, somatically moving my body and being a little bit more aggressive about it. And it's funny that you asked this too. And I'll explain after this, but it made me feel so much better. And so during the times of when I was experiencing so much of my life, a lot of unresolved trauma, not going to therapy, the prime of my athletic career was actually when I was suppressing the most. And so I grew up in a pretty, I had a very interesting childhood, right? And I was always an athlete. And being an athlete was my outlet, right? But it got to a point where I became so obsessive as a bodybuilder and my career ended as a CrossFit athlete, but like I was so obsessive. And I'll never forget my first boss ever telling me that like, you're obsessed with what you're doing. And I was just like, what are you talking about? I'm just like dedicated. I'm just committed, you know, like, but later years down the road, I realized like he was so right. But this obsession that I had about exercising and building muscle, like I was huge. You can look me up on Google. I was massive. It literally looked like a monster. And so
we're going to share pictures after this.
Okay.
I just look my name up on Google. It's insane. I tell people this all the time, but I was suppressing so much trauma through exercise. Granted, that was probably the best outlet that I could have had, right?
Okay. Yeah.
People choose drugs, people choose alcohol,
Sure.
people choose gambling, people choose sex, right? To suppress things. And for me, I suppressed all of my anger and my trauma, unresolved trauma through fitness. And I was very obsessed. You can ask my mom.
So it can be a problem.
It can be a problem for sure, because then it becomes a problem in a sense where you stop enjoying life and you become so obsessed with how you look. And that's not good. Right. Because then you're just like seeking this version of yourself that you're never going to get because you actually already got there. You just don't realize it. You know, like you.
Well, is it because you're chasing a feeling too? If like you're suppressing emotion and you feel relief when you're moving. So there's that emotional attachment to that.
Yeah. Too. And the dopamine release, you know, and like that you get and, you know, the endorphins that release in the brain from leaving the gym, you know, feels great. You know, I don't know if you've ever had runner's high, but like as a runner now more than anything, I actually just learned recently that like runner's high has nothing to do with endorphins. It actually is cannabinoids. So you literally like runner's high, when they talk about runner's high, it's like this phenomenon that happens after a run. Not every single run, but like you literally feel like you're high. And cannabinoids is like cannabis.
It's like what your body produces when you take cannabis.
So like what you experience when you're like smoking marijuana, essentially, you experience the same thing after when you're experiencing a runner's high, but it's not endorphins. So science was wrong about it being endorphins. It's
interesting. I definitely have felt that. It feels great.
Yeah, no. I've experienced catharsis in running where I've just like I've been done and I've just wept.
Yeah.
And you don't even know why. You're just like releasing in a state of catharsis.
Yeah. Well, you can experience that in the sound.
Oh yeah,
experience
I mean,
too.
I've experienced catharsis in sound baths from.
Same.
I've experienced like Kundalini activation, waves moving through my body.
Yeah.
Like,
how does this? Sorry, do you have a question? I didn't want to interrupt you, but I have a question. How does this So exercise and moving your body and the physicality of it could be this, depending on where your mindset is, just very negative thing for you. And then it can also be a really positive thing. Yeah. And I'm wondering, like,
learning how to balance that currently.
The harmonizing that you talk about, how does that play together? The physical touch, the physical, like being in your body, the presence. And because I know that's what happens when you're listening to sound bowls, is you're feeling the frequencies resonate through your body. It's a very physical sensation, and I know it can be very uncomfortable for people because of that. Some people aren't ready to like
also
be
depending
so
on the
released.
sound practitioner, if that's the case too, because there's things that need to happen in a sound bath in order for you to properly receive it. Dissonance and resonance are predominantly what we're trying to create, right? And entrainment. And a perfect example of entrainment is when is like birds chirping or like ocean waves crashing. Like when you go to the beach or when you hear like bird songs, like it's very relaxing because it's this repetitive sound that is creating entrainment in the mind. Just like I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when I say entrainment. You're like, yes, of course.
Hypnosis wise,
yes. And so that's kind of what's happening, in a way, if you let yourself get there, right? But what was your question again?
I'm just trying to, like, the physicality of the working out and then the physicality of the harmonizing and kind of pulling that together.
Yeah.
How is that, if we do want to use physicality and working out as a way to be part of the practice that we're doing to harmonize our energy centers, how can we think about it so it doesn't go into that place of being a negative
intention thing? Of course. It's just like, how can you if you set an intention with literally everything that you do from the time you wake up until you went to sleep, your life would change, right? And so it's like, what is your intention for going for a run right now? I'll tell you, I'm fucking mad at the world right now, or I'm pissed that somebody flipped me off while I was driving, whatever, something stupid, or I'm running because I know this is the only way I can keep my body fat down, or I'm running because I need to breathe, right? Or it's like, I'm running because I'm also training for a half marathon in Miami in December. Like, that's why I'm running, so it's like, there's so many different intentions that you can lead with that are going to help you get to that discipline, that devotion, right? That physicality, self-worship, right? For sure. But like, I think it really just comes down to intention. Like, why are you practicing yoga? Why are you getting on your mat? Why are you coming to the sound bath? What's your goal? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Is it for performance? Is it because you want to be part of something that everybody's a part of? Or it's because you know that like you are intentionally here to greatly benefit from something, to be a better person or to evolve or whatever that may be,
rise in your power.
Exactly. So it's like, I think it really just comes down to intention.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I imagine in this work, there's a lot that, it comes up shadow side. We've talked about the shadow. Like shadow briefly touched on it when people are crying, when you're playing the heart chakra bowl, the shadow side of working out. And that, how do you approach, I want to say my question right, but how do you approach when you're doing these modalities and these practices and your intention is harmonizing, and it sounds like dysregulation, and it sounds like not harmony, everything but harmony, chaos and stress, frustration and anger. How do you approach those very real things that come up when people do this work?
As you're working with the womb and like these feminine centers, there's generational stuff there. When I started my journey with womb healing, I went in guided meditation to my womb space, or I guess self-hypnosis, and I met myself there, and I was just the most devastated, disregarded, felt so, I really observed myself in my mind, in my own abandonment wounds. But I had abandoned myself because I allowed myself to be in that almost like victimhood. Like I really felt small, unlovable, all these things, just discarded. And I had to like go there. Yeah. To raise that vibration. I had to meet myself at the lowest to harmonize, I suppose, to nurture myself and bring it back into balance. So I imagine when sound or you're in this space with other women and you're having those emotions rise, it's like creating those vibrations of the bowls. I can only imagine. Well, I've experienced this, so I guess I can speak from my experience. It will activate the lowest vibration. It will break it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to confront it
and
to
allow
understand
it
yourself
to
fully.
move through and release or whatever it needs to do.
Yeah. The only way out is through.
And we like release through our feet. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's why I always try to have people's feet away from me.
Not to bring it back to Beyonce, but absolutely yes to bring it back to Beyonce. I noticed that there's this dance move that she does when she's like in the part where it's like, these motherfuckers ain't stopping me, right? And she has this move where she goes down and like to the beat. And it literally, I'm like, she is doing her witchy rituals right now. And I know it. And it's like she's taking the energy and she's moving it down.
She's pushing the patriarchy
down into the earth so the earth can recycle that.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's why grounding is a thing. You know, that's why you put your feet in the grass.
We need an edit where we're just talking about Beyonce.
Sometimes I feel like the only way I can fully feel rested is if I were to be buried alive and just dissolved into the earth to be just like turn into moss.
That's an earth side for you, Fred.
Yeah, I
don't want to be a boss girl. I want to be a moss girl.
I love it. The puns today.
I love it. Anyway, no, just me.
I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Your girl loves. I love getting dirty.
Well, Leos are the earthiest of the fire
I
signs.
love getting dirty. Yeah, I was thinking about. I love going to sweat lodges, and I'm just like rubbing dirt all over myself. And I come home, and my husband's like, "What happened to you? Because you're not just sweating.
I've been born again.
You're not just sweating, girl."
Sweat lodge is actually traditional at Temazcal. Has been a huge part of my life in the last almost year now, come February, and it's been, it's not something I talk about, but I definitely will in this space because it's so important. And I definitely think, I'm so blessed to have the women in my life in this space and to be a supporter in a Temazcal with the fire. And it's been something that has been so life-changing for me as a woman to step into a role of responsibility and like
comes back
and service, right? And like being in a sweat lodge and singing and just literally like praying,
blending.
And, there's always one moment where we're praying out loud, and it's always one of the most difficult parts for me because it's like the most powerful thing you can do. One is pray, but like to speak it out loud is even more transcendent, and it's like difficult to pray out loud because you're projecting your throat, which this is usually if not the most blocked center in every single person.
I do feel
not speaking their truth, not being honest with themselves, whatever.
When I have anxiety, it feels like I'm being strangled.
Yeah. But sweat lodge, like if you can find women to be with, community in that way, it is life-changing. Just obviously always like respecting the indigenous. And
always
where like it's not something that you can just like go and step into. It's definitely a very closed container or like very invitational and sacred. Like
very womb-like. It's the womb.
It is the womb. Yeah. When you walk out, you're rebirthed again for sure. And it's absolutely, I have no words for it. There really is no words for the experience and what you work through in those moments, and then what is to come, like days or weeks or even months after. Even now, I'm still integrating my what I was doing in these lodges over the last.
It feels so fresh. Months. Which in like physically, it's so much sweat and so the heat and the dirt, and I'm so mindful of like any like spiders around or any kind of like stuff, any little creatures in the ground, and it is a very earthy practice.
I mean they're whenever we were building the lodge and we'd be bit by ants, there was one of my friends, Anna, she's like, you're clearing karma, like you're clearing karma or whatnot. It's like you're just being initiated every time you like feel pain or you get burned by the fire or
Mhm.
whatever, and
Mhm.
something's painful, it's like it's like a level of initiation and like
Labor
clearing
pains,
karma.
baby. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how much karma you clear when you're in giving birth,
Oh well.
right? It's like
Crazy.
it's wild.
Yeah, I think that it sounds like there are a lot of practices that we're touching on. It's almost like in addition to the sweat lodges, sounds like a lot of conversations. Like I know that with me, especially during this energy, what's happening right now is I had to very much like sit with my inner child and do that inner child dialogue between the parent and the child and the bestie. My favorite part of my conversation this time was like my inner child does get angry, completely loves and trusts me though, knows, and that was not always the case. So that was like a really beautiful reminder this time when I went in and had that moment. And there was a lot that came up. There was like still a part of me trying to please my father from when I was little and trying to help him through his things, knowing that that's not really how, the divine feminine. It's a drink break.
We also have like almost identical birth charts, so I'm not surprised.
I just want to be a part of the club.
Not true.
We were kind of mentioning this a little bit before, and I think this is part of the shadow work is what we're clearing out is that like wounded healer, the person who +1 for radical honesty with ourselves, Stephen said, Ayo. Is to when you go through a period of healing and you choose to step into the responsibility of being a wise woman and being a witch and all that implies, then and you choose to be seen, and you choose to stand with integrity in what it is that you're going to get shit for. You have to be able to say yes, and I'm standing here on this because I've very much absolutely chosen it, and it is going to be the work that I am doing. And when you're in that place of integrity, then you can kind of work through that shadow aspect of it. But I think that's one of the shadows that happens is when we're going through our healing, we get so angry and we're in so much pain, and there's a real necessary time for separation, for isolation, for processing grief, for getting to know more of who we are. And the thing is, though, it doesn't just end there where we're completely isolated. The journey then does take us back into service, but from a place of now I can see myself and who I am and worship. Do that self-worship. So now with that vibration, I can go back and be in the mud and know that I am not the mud, that I am still me. And so I can be here with you, noticing you and seeing you for who you are, not helping, not fixing, not draining, not burnout, not I need to fix you so that I can feel better about me. Not that, but going back into service, because I think what happens is as women rise, there's a lot of anger toward men, and there's a lot of hatred toward men for the role that they have played in this part, and it's all very valid. But if we disenfranchise an entire group of people based on their own traumas that they have not had a chance to heal, then we are doing what they did to cause more of the damage. And the end of that journey is really about knowing that we all rise together, and that when you truly have that solidity within yourself and you accept that responsibility, then you're willing to work with, the people who you have a heart for. It's not going to necessarily be everybody that we're all connecting to, but
which
collectively.
is also like there's an aspect in that is a fragment of a shadow of like being in this work and like needing to be the one to do it for
Everybody,
and, like,
yeah.
not, if you see somebody doing similar work and you see these people going there but not to you, and it's like that's
Oh yeah.
Like there's
That's
like
a tough one.
it's exactly. It's just, I think, not to let that be something that holds you back from continuing to be of service.
Sure.
Sure. Because like to be of service is like to be of service without the expectation of anything in return.
Right, because the joy becomes getting to participate or be a witness of somebody else's healing journey that you just went through.
Yeah.
I mean, what an honor.
But like people, a lot of people lack purpose in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that lack of purpose stems from not being of service. Like so much of that, of the people who struggle of not feeling like they belong here, like, you know, when it comes to people who struggle with depression and like not have significant purpose and or they think that they like shouldn't be here, right? It's like so I feel like so much of that can be worked with and transmuted through just being of service to others without feeling like you're this, you're trying to like heal somebody or be this person. It's like you're literally just it's just showing up, being of service to others, and not, you don't even have to say a word, like,
right,
you know, it's like there's so many things that you can do to be of service to others where you don't even have to speak.
You can just listen. Yes. That's a powerful mirror in itself.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think that there's this blending of the harmonizing in this journey. There's so much self-harmonizing, and then there's this negotiation and of this self with the other, and it's about being very purposeful about how you choose to show up, but allowing yourself to show up in the capacity that you can in the moment to I mean, really, I think it's kind of like an inevitable in a healing journey. Like it's part of the healing journey is to share that vibration with the people that you honor. Coming from a place of I honor you, not you're broken and I need to fix you, you know, but coming from a place of because I honor myself, I can honor another in a beautiful way.
Yeah, and like there's also another side to that. Like it's just like a web, right? And like honoring without feeling threatened by somebody else's presence or success or beauty or whatever they carry or how they
but worshiping
like,
it, worshiping the things
for sure,
that make
like
them
being stoked for them, like you look fucking good, right? And that's something that I've experienced recently in like the sister wound and being in the work that I've been in with this group of sisters that I've been involved with, and is recognize, like I truly feel that one of those moments that if you can feel that you've healed an aspect of the divine feminine is when you don't feel threatened by other women and you're not judging them in your mind, right? Not about what you may say to your bestie or to your sister or to your mother. It's like how you're actually perceiving women in your mind. Like that's when you know you've truly have healed a huge part of the divine feminine, and then knowing that that is just rippling out
100%.
because of how you then walk with that essence, right? Because you now are making other women feel safe just by your essence in that.
I love that you took it there because I do, my brain does go to like the men is not, we don't want to leave men out of the equation as if they're not important. But I love that you brought it to the sister wound and the nurturing of females and female friendships. And I think what's really powerful with that is kind of, I think what comes up for me in that is that when there is a woman who is not awakened to her power, a woman who knows how to gently put boundaries up so that she can, or to be a part of that journey of her rising. And I think that's something that proves safety to yourself. And then I think that is an example of safety for them as well. And it's like one of those like batteries.
Well, it's easier to recognize when someone might feel another woman is maybe not connected and harmonizing with these centers in themselves. And so we can have compassion because I think we all can remember or know a time when we felt the discomfort and the dis-ease in ourselves because to think or perceive or to be uncomfortable or insecure around another woman is really a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Because if you're at peace or safe within yourself, then you are inevitably a safe person.
Right.
And to honor that experience, because it's part of the experience, I think.
And I think that it's like this tricky thing, because you'll have a sense of, I need to put this boundary up with this person. Whereas in the past you would say, oh, what, she thinks she's better than me, you know, like, or, oh gosh, or yeah. So it's like in the unhealed version of
mean
that,
girls.
It might have looked like being a mean girl. In the healed version of that, you see it for what it is. You still don't allow it. Like, the point is you don't allow that then to like hook into you. And you don't allow it to, like, you put up the boundary there. And then when you put up the boundary, that creates more of the safety around it.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's kind of what Saturday too is about. Like, even though it hasn't really been fully vocalized, it's like showing up in that space on Saturday is an opportunity to literally like find sisterhood.
Yeah.
I have more sisters in my life now than ever. And I used to have no friends living in Southwest Florida. And like, even the last 2 years, the community that I have and the amount of women that I have in my life that I can turn to and talk to and trust, or who are involved in herbalism, who are doulas, who are straight medicine women, right? That I am so close to and have the honor to be around, was only because I chose to show up.
That's
right?
all it is.
So it's like
you're either here or you're not.
Yeah, it's like you have people and women out there who may desire these connections, and it's like, or like they're waiting for them to come around, or they don't know how to have them. And it's like, the hardest part, even like going back to exercising, going back to that devotion of like the physicality, it's like showing up is going to be the hardest thing that you do. Walking out the door and making that decision, purchasing a ticket to an event, like that is in and of itself going to be the most difficult thing for you to do, right? To show up for yourself and ultimately cultivate what it is that you're desiring in regards to your femininity or your sisterhood or your community.
For sure. Yeah, the space on Saturday is really a safe space to experience the whole process of harmonizing. Right? All the light and the high vibes and the stuff that comes up along the way, but also everyone that shows up to that space, whether they realize it or not, are contributing to that safe container.
And like whatever we end up doing, like in that space, whoever ends up showing up, it's like you're not just showing up for you, but you're showing up for the generations of women before you and after you. And it literally is going to ripple out into your life because of the work that you've chosen to show up for and be a part of and present in your body. Right. So it goes beyond the physical all the time. It's just the intention behind it.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's been I've noticed, because I've definitely been in mean girl world and have the wounds from it. And then I've definitely had that shift in my life. And I will say, like, the women who move through ritual space, there's just a really deep understanding of holding each other's experiences sacred. And I have had such a good experience with the healing feminine energy in this space. I think it's really important about how the tone is set. It's almost like the tone is set in here.
For sure. I know. I mean, for the first time here, it was I came here for a Valentine's Day event, I think. With just women. And that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, which is funny because I literally just said, like, it's been 2 years. And so, like, being in this space here 2 years ago was definitely a portal that I stepped into, that I finally allowed myself to show up and be a part of, even though I was living in Naples at the time and I drove 40 minutes to be here. Like, I still chose to show up because I had been seeking community and sisterhood. And now it's like, I know. And even though I don't really like the women that were there that night, I'm not connected with them in any other than you, but like, I'm not connected with them in a way of like deep friendship. But it still built the bridge and led me to the sisters that I have today. Absolutely. Because I became open to receiving that, because I finally was open.
Which, if that isn't a part of the feminine wound, is to receive.
Yeah. to literally receive. Yeah, for sure.
Always
Like,
giving and not receiving.
yeah.
Well, we are glad that you were here tonight. Do you have, as we finish up, because I'm seeing your time, if you had to summarize and you want somebody to take away one thing from what you said or what's most important, what would you say?
Oh my God.
Can you pick one
What's
thing?
most important, I think, really is trusting yourself and trusting that you have all of the wisdom and knowledge that you need to be able to like take the steps for healing, right? And like to not be so quick to seek people or healers or plant medicine or whatever outside of yourself, to not be so quick to seek things outside of yourself and to just like look within first. And then if it's like you can't achieve what you feel that you are trying to get to in regards to healing or harmonizing with just you first, then to ask for help. But like give yourself a chance, like give your heart a chance, give your intuition and what you think that you know a chance.
I love it.
Self-trust.
Take a chance
Take
on
a
yourself.
chance.
Love that.
Take a
Trust
chance.
yourself.
Join us on Saturday if this resonates with you for the Sonic Bloom Sound Weaving Workshop for Women, hosted by this lovely being right here. I'll be there. Clearing my womb
definitely
debris.
be there.
You will have non-negotiable.
We're gonna have a
Our
lot
guide.
of fun, and we're definitely
It's gonna be
gonna
great.
like chill afterwards.
Oh yeah, we're gonna munch. We're gonna vibe.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna
have some
yap.
snacks. We're play some music, maybe dance around, sing a song. It's just like that's a big thing for me. It's just being able to come out of a space like that and not just walk out the door, but like literally commune. We're building community, and we always forget to commune in community offerings. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have a good time.
Yeah, come to our gathering. Where else can people find you?
Oh, Higher Self and Sound. That is me. That is I.
Okay, we'll link it up.
Technological world. That's all I got.
Excellent.
All right.
Catch us next Wednesday right here in the living room. Thanks so much for being here, ladies, and we'll
Thank you.
see you next
Thank you,
time.
guys.
Bye.
Ciao for now.
Ciao. Bye.